Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vikhari 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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Vikhari Radha Madhava Kunja Vikhari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Gurudev Jaya Gurudev Jaya Gandharvika Giridhari Radhe Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Radhika Raman Giriju Ki Jai Ho Om Jnana Timirandasya Jananjana Salakaya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Caitanya Manopistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Maha Vandanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaur Vishay Namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai. First of all, I'd like to offer my heartfelt Puspanjali to the lotus feet of my Harinam and Diksha Guru, my life and soul, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. I would say the Shiksha Guru for entire Kali Yuga, for the whole universe. Really, we're all indebted to him. And to the entire Guru Parampara. And second of all, to my Bhajan Shiksha Guru, to Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, the Bandhu of the whole world, Bhakta Bandha, and to our entire Guru Parampara, especially Rupa and Sanatan and the six Goswamis, and now to Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the speaker of Siksastakam. He is the origin of Siksastakam. It is his emanation, his gift to the world. Because this week we're starting Siksastakam. We finally finished Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Madhurya Kadambini. Of course, you can never finish. Another time we'll have to do it again, right? It's so important. We can go deeper and deeper and deeper into Madhurya Kadambini. But now we're going to go a little ahead and come to Siksastakam. But first of all, I'd like to go back a little bit. Today is actually a very, very special day, especially because we're going to start Caitanya Caritamrta, Chapter 20, Siksastakam, by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So today is a day in 1974, November 10th. It was a Sunday, and it was Rāma ekadasi. It was actually what we had yesterday. That is the day that Srila Prabhupada finished the Caitanya Caritamrta. He actually finished it. He said, what he said, he has a what do you call it, an epilogue in the end, concluding words. And he says, on the order of my beloved spiritual master, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj, who is my spiritual master, my guide, and my friend. It has been completed by his grace today, and that was the 10th of November 1974. And I was very fortunate. I happened to be in Los Angeles. That was actually my Prabhu Datta Desh, where Prabhupada set me there. I spent a few years in Denver, ISKCON, but mostly I was in Los Angeles, and this is where the BBT was. And it was an amazing experience. And we were there when Prabhupada, he said it was a month and a half. It was 18 months took him to do the Caitanya Caritamrta. Not 2 years like we thought. It was 18 months, right? And at the same time, you know what he was doing? 5th canto. So we did the whole Caitanya Caritamrta and the 5th canto. Amazing. It was amazing. And what he was doing, he was actually in Los Angeles. He called Los Angeles ISKCON his Western World headquarters. And he would say that and Hawaii. He spent most of his time either in Hawaii or in Los Angeles, and then he would travel and travel and travel everywhere, as we know, right? And he would spend some time also in New Vrindavan, especially for his appearance day. But in Los Angeles, we had a lot of association, and he would give class every day, go on his walk. So I got to hear so much Harikatha from him, which is, of course, the greatest gift, right? Anyhow, during this time, he had a team of devotees. I was a book distributor, so I wasn't part of this team of publishing the book. I was distributing it as soon as the books come out, you know. Here we go. 1st canto Bhagavatam, 2nd canto Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, in the airports, in the parking lots. You know, they were just flying out. Prabhupada said, I'm whipping them out the door. And he was, but we loved it, because we like to make him happy, right? So it was wonderful. It was really, and the spirit there was amazing. So he had a marathon happening 24 hours a day. You had your shift. I wasn't part of it, but the editors, the editors and whatever takes part of a book, I can't remember what you call them. Not translators, because he was translating. Proofreaders. Yeah, proofreaders, all the different, and the art team was going full blast. Shamarani was there, Jadharani was there, so many, Driga, what's his name? I forgot that boy's name. Bhadaraj was there, what's his name? Murlidhar and Prickett, so many all the artists were there. They were just painting and painting and painting. And the other ones, they had a shift. And so everything was going on 24 hours a day. Some had the night shift, some had the day shift, like this. It was humming, it was going. And probably they don't worry, this comes first. Chant the best you can, whatever you can, but these must come out. It was like this. It was an incredible experience. And then the experience of also distributing them. He empowered us, We were going everywhere. It was unbelievable. We went to the Los Angeles airport, and in the beginning, the Los Angeles airport was illegal. So we were running around undercover in carmy clothes, And I got caught twice, and you ended up in the airport jail, and then you got taken off to some other jail. But we didn't last. We were only a few hours, then they'd get us out. But I had one god sister. She must have got caught 100 times. Her name was La Bungalati. She was wild. She was from England, actually. Her son was famous. One of the very first boys, Dwarkadish. He's the one, if you see the picture of Prabhupada helping a student write, that's her son, Dwarkadish. Anyhow, they were amazing. Anyhow, so I was in the jail once, and I hear all this noise, and the police goes, "Oh, here comes Rosie again." But, they were pretty nice to us. They were, Of course, the airport itself didn't really appreciate us. So, they were making announcements about us over the loudspeakers. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. You don't have to give a donation, man. And, and be careful. And at the same time, there was some other persons there doing something. I can't remember exactly what they were doing, but it was some kind of magazines that were really bogus, very bogus stuff. So we had a little competition with illegal activity. And Rosie, La Bungalati, she was so feisty. She would stand up on a table and start, talking about these people, and you don't take from them. It was quite amazing, actually, quite amazing. And then finally, amazingly enough, we legalized the airport. We could go there legal. In our saris, our tilak, and we could be legal. It only took about 1 year, maybe 2 years, I can't remember, but we actually legalized the LA airport. That was amazing. I don't think it's legal now. I think somehow they lost that. I don't know how long ago. But, so then we could go just out like this. There were a few regulations, can't remember what they were, but, and in those days, we're talking now the 70s, the early 70s, and then after Prabhupada passed, like this, we're talking the 70s. Because at first we started way back when, door to door in parking lots, but by the time the Caitanya Caritamrta came out in the 5th canto, we were in the airport by that time. And in those days, they were still allowed to smoke.
Right.
So you would go in, like I went into, let's say, I was in the international airport. And let's say you go into Japan Airlines. Not only, they hated us, so the announcements are going, and it's wall-to-wall smoke. Everybody is smoking. Oh, it's just like horrendous. Oh, wow. But still, we did. We went everywhere. And in the LA airport, they have about 15 different buildings, and most of them, of course, are what do you call it, domestic. There was only 1 or 2 that were international. It was a huge airport, huge. Now we had sometimes 10, 15, 20 devotees because it was so big. Of course, what's really interesting, when we first opened the airport, I won't mention any names, but the person who was our Sankirtan leader and very famous book distributor, he said, well, really, the airport's only big enough for 1 person.
Okay.
By the end, we had about 20 there, like this, So gradually, we started to, and that was the easiest place to have the books go the fastest, the farthest, because in the parking lots it's only LA, door to door it's only LA, but you go in the airport, then they're going all over America, all over the world, you know. And I could tell just one or two stories. I heard about a disciple of Srila Narayan Maharaj, I won't mention his name, a young man, and he's still a disciple, but he was a young boy, and he was in New Jersey, I think it's New Jersey, and he was raised in a family not particularly religious, but finally, I think he was about 13, and he asked his mother, what's the name of God? And she was going, Jehovah, Allah, and she said, oh, wait a minute. And I guess they were rich, I'm not sure, but they had a huge library, and she brought out a ladder, walked up, picked out a book, and said, here, it's Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we had little trilogies. They were little blue books, 1, 2, 3, and it was the whole Krishna book. And of course it has George Harrison's signature in it, you know. And she says, here. He became an ISKCON devotee, and after that a disciple of Srila Narayan Maharaj. From that book, and she had gotten that book 20 years before in the San Diego airport, which is the other side of America, and never read it herself. You see? And so this is what had us so inspired. Prabhupada would tell us they're like time bombs. Yes. It has somebody's name on it, you know? And so you just get them out. And also they were tearing them up and throwing them in the garbage. And Prabhupada, what do we, and he said, don't worry about it. Just distribute the books. What can you expect? They're killing their babies in the womb. Yeah, they're killing their babies in the womb. You can't expect anything different. Keep distributing, just keep distributing. And he said, even if they just touch the book, they don't take it, even if they just touch the book, actually their karma has changed. If they read one word of the book, their karma has changed. So we were so excited. We were just to be serving Prabhupada in that way, because we knew how much it meant to him, because his Gurudev had told him, if you ever give money, just print books, distribute books. So we were helping him serve his Gurudev. And so we were so happy, and we were fearless in those days. Completely fearless, really going everywhere, people going to bars, and I heard in Europe they were going into slaughterhouses and all kinds of places. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Distributing books, yeah, really. And sometimes you're all by yourself, especially in parking lots. It was a bit dangerous sometimes. But we were protected, and we knew Prabhupada could protect us. I never had any really bad experience. I just was kind of, anyhow, we were so determined. We were doing car to car if it was parking lots, go up to someone. Also, we were standing at the exit of the door of a store or something, because we'd get permission to stand there. And so I was going car to car, and one time I went to this car, and there was this man, and he did something he shouldn't do, he exposed himself, But what did I do? I put the book over him, preached to him, said, you got to give me $5, take this book. He gave me $5, and I walked on. Haribo, you idiot. So it's like, that was our mood. There was no nonsense. Prabhupada was just Hare Krishna. And also I had the fortune to go with a godbrother of mine to Disneyland. You've probably all heard of Disneyland. And believe me, that was illegal. And there's policemen everywhere. But how did we do it? We dressed up like a husband and wife, and we had a baby carriage. And in the baby carriage, we had the books, and we had, of course, those little blue trilogies, right? So it has George Harrison's name on it. So you got Disneyland, everyone, so you just go, oh, here, George Harrison loved this book, take, and you had to get $1 for each one. So we were trying to do them real fast so we wouldn't, before we got caught, So all kinds of, like this. It was so amazing. I remember the first time I personally came to India in 1975 when Srila Prabhupada opened the Krishna Balaram Mandir. He had a festival in 74, but I didn't go to that. I came in 75, and it was so amazing. We chartered a whole plane from America, and it was the South American and the Canadians, a whole plane full of devotees. We had Mangal Artik, everything on the plane. And we stopped in Lebanon, in Beirut. And about that time, Beirut was very dangerous. Everyone had machine guns and everything. We were distributing books everywhere, Haribo, it was just like when we came to India, because we were trained, a certain group of us, because you have the group that's the translators, the groups that are the editors, well, I was the group that was the book distributors. And they definitely took care of us well because they wanted us to do it. We were a bit spoiled, actually. And it's good that we get, we were a bit puffed up, But anyhow, Krishna finally, decided to start, taking care of that. But now what was I going to say?
You were in Beirut.
Oh, in Beirut.
Yeah.
Oh, no, but leaving that now, okay, when I was in Los Angeles, it was interesting. I got trained, and a few of us book distributors got trained in a certain way that's completely different than most people. And I have a kind of a different orientation. And that's why everything was celebrated by distributing books. John Masmi, go out and distribute books to celebrate. Ekadasi, go out and distribute books. Anything, go out and distribute books. So I'm not used to festivals, really, because we were always out. That was the way we celebrated, was by distributing books. It's interesting. There was a time we were doing it 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. Unbelievable. I can't do it now, but it wasn't the best thing to do, because it's better if you do it more in the mode of goodness, because then you can do it longer. I did a straight 10 years, and then I kind of couldn't go on very well. But if you do it more, 5 days a week, 6 hours a day, then you can. And we had a huge support. We had a huge temple, 300 devotees. 300 devotees. It was a team. You have your cooks, you have your pujaris, it was a real team. And Prabhupada was there so much. So this spirit was going all over the world. The South Americans, they were on fire. They were the Mexicans, they were doing, they were fired up. And all of Europe was, and they would have these competitions, see who, how Westerners are, And that's the problem. If you're big, then you become puffed up. This is what I wanted to tell you, was Krishna decided to start bringing us back down to, wait a minute, Prabhupada's doing it all. You're very insignificant, really. So one time, I was #1 in the world, right? And we used to have this news thing that came out once a week, And so I'm, trying to be humble, but you're just waiting for it to. And so they hadn't put my name in. And I thought, oh, thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you for making, it's like, Krishna, he got me. It was good, because really, we should be the humble servant of the servant of the servant. We were being used. We were just right off the street, most of us were hippies or whatever, And so Prabhupada was using that youthful energy. He was just using us to run around, and for me, I know it was good for me. If I'd had just sat in the temple, it would have been very hard for me. Very hard, So I would just to run and talk to everybody, and then you find out after a while, everybody from A to Z is a conditioned soul. They're not enjoying at all, and they all stink. You know what I mean? It's like, there's no illusions about some kind of person's enjoying in the material world, or this or that, or some kind of happiness in the material. No. After you've seen it all from A to Z, when you're soul, it's like, and you see that everybody's miserable. And then you start to see, oh, I'm so fortunate to have been able to do this seva, to let Prabhupada use me as an instrument like that, because it made him so happy, and it was part of his service like that. So even now, I still have books over in my almirah, and when anyone comes to my room, I'm still distributing books. It's such I remember in the LA airport when we were going from one building to another, they would have these tunnels. I think they were underground, probably between one building and another, a tunnel that people could walk through, so they didn't have to go out and about, And I remember walking through them. I can still remember this because it's what we're looking for is we want to give up sense gratification and the happiness that we think we're getting from sense gratification, right? That's what we want to give up. And we're promised, and we hear about ananda, which is spiritual happiness, right? But that it comes from service, right? Selfless service. So I can remember walking down that tunnel with my books, and I was singing, chanting Hare Krishna, doing kirtan, because there's nobody there, you're just singing along. And I remember I've never felt so happy in my entire life. Because I knew Prabhupada was happy. I knew Mahaprabhu was happy. And it was like, it was so different from any other happiness. Now, it didn't stay with me all the time, but when you get a taste, then you know what, the sense gratification, it just doesn't match. It's not happiness. When you've had a taste of that higher happiness, that's what helps you go on when the times are difficult, isn't it? Because wait a minute, Maya, I don't want to be cheated by you anymore. No. I've had a taste. I just have to be, as we know, tolerant, humble, respectful. I just have to keep chanting. And this is what we're going to talk about today. It's Nam Seva. And we're going to talk about this for Siksastaka, service to the name. Because this is the process, isn't it? The process is the holy name, chanting the holy name. But it's not just chanting like a robot. It's actually trying to do Nam Seva. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the Bhagirati Ganga of Bhakti, the seventh Goswami, has given us two very special books to help us with Sri Nam Seva. And he wrote the book Siksastaka. Actually, it's a commentary on Lord Chaitanya's spoken Siksastaka. He spoke the Siksastaka when he was in Jagannath Puri. In Jagannath Puri, as we know, he was there for 12 years. My mind kind of... 12 years in Navadvip, 12 years in Puri. And in the first 6 years in Puri, he was traveling all over in Ratha Yatra and everything. But for the last 6 years, he was mostly absorbed in tasting actually Sri Nam. And the verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, Gita Govinda of Jayadev Goswami, Bilva Mangala Thakur's Krishna Karnamrita, the Jagannath Ballabha Natika of Rai Ramananda, like this. And who was there? Only two persons, Swarab Damodar and Rai Ramananda, only. And Govinda, his personal service, he didn't actually understand. He had a different relationship with Mahaprabhu. In fact, he was upset that they would come and make Mahaprabhu cry so much. Why did they come? But he didn't really understand how much ecstasy, and this is what Mahaprabhu actually wanted. This is what he came for, is to taste, as we know, the moods of Srimati Radhika. And it was Rai Ramananda and Swarab Damodar, Lalita and Vishaka who were helping him. So the very last chapter of Caitanya Caritamrta, chapter 20, this chapter is called Siksastaka. And it doesn't really say when, it just says at night, mostly at night, he would be so absorbed in separation bhav, in the moods of separations of Srimati Radhika, like this. And so one night, he started saying, tasting these moods and chanting the holy name. This is the topmost way for how do you say it? Method of perfection, or system for perfection. That's what Siddha Pranali means. Pranali actually means system. So to attain perfection, Siddha Pranali, the best means, that's what I forget my English. The best means for attaining perfection, Krishna Prem, is Sri Nam. And then he said it will cleanse all the sins, and it will gradually, Prem will manifest in the heart, and gradually will attain the topmost Prem, which is our Siddha Deha. Actually, Siddha Deha will come from Sri Nam, not from going to Radhakund and paying 10 rupees and finding out that you're so-and-so Manjari. And then when you go back to your country, you can't even remember anything. No. You have to go through the steps that have been given by Mahaprabhu in his Siksastakam, which he actually spoke. So the first verse that he said, of course, as we know, Cheto Darpanam Marjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni, Shreyakara Vichandrakavatarnam, Vijavadu Jivanam, Anandam Buddhivarnam, Pratipadam Purnam Ritasvarnam, Sarvatmasnapanam, Param Vijayate, Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. And at the end, almost at the end of the chapter, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami gives a blessing. If we chant or hear this Siksastakam, 8 prayers every day, our bhakti will grow and grow naturally. We won't even realize how it's growing. If we simply chant and hear Siksastakam every day. And I know in ISKCON, when I first joined, we were doing it after Mangalarti. Everyone, the whole temple, we would recite it like that. So myself personally, I try to remember and chant it every day. I think probably I forget sometimes, but I do try. Because this is Mahaprabhu. He's come. He is the combination of the ocean of ras. Akhil Rasamrita Murti, Sri Krishna. The ocean of unlimited. This is the thing. We want, now we're very fortunate because we've met Sadhu Sangha. We've read Srimad Bhagavatam. We understand the goal of life is prem, Krishna prem. But what is that Krishna prem? That Krishna prem is unfathomable. It never stops becoming ever fresh and bring more and more. We can't even imagine. See, our minds can't even. We've heard this, but we're used to beginning, middle, and end, height, width, length, calculating, being able to measure something. That's Maya. Maya, you can measure something. The spiritual Krishna is immeasurable. He's astonishingly fresh and ever fresh. This is what our goal is, to be able to become qualified to enter into his Leela, his home, his abode, his pastimes, and have our own personal relationship to give him pleasure, selfless pleasure to Krishna. But that's not all. Srimati Radhika, who is the ocean of prem. We have Jugal Kishore, not just Krishna. We have Jugal Kishore, Srimati Radhika, the pinnacle of prem, Mahabhav, Madanaki Mahabhav. She's the ocean of prem. So you have the ocean of Rasa and the ocean of prem combined in Sachinandan Gaur Hari. And this is Krishna. It's Srimati Radhika, but it's Krishna. And he's taken on the bhav of Srimati Radhika, the bhav and the kanti, her color, because the color of Mahabhav is golden. What is it? Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi. Tapta Kanchana, this molten gold. That's the color of Srimati Radhika. That's the color of the topmost prem. So he's taken on this color naturally, because when you take on this bhav, this color will come like this. So she has come along with Krishna. And what is it? Because he's taken her moods, we're not going to be speaking at first about her Madanaki Mahabhav. We're now talking about, what is it? Karuna Mayi, Kripa Mayi Radhe, the most merciful, the ocean of mercy, the ocean of Kripa. And this has come in the form of Sachinandan Gaur Hari. Parama Karun, right? Gaur Doyanidhi. He has come as the most merciful, because it's a combination of Krishna and Radharani. So much mercy. And he's come to taste, and he wants to give us the process and the method by which we can taste too. You see? This is what he's come to do. And how has he done it? Through his Siksastakam. And through all of his associates who come and given us this process. It's so easy, actually. Srinam. But not just Srinam. We have to first become free from Namaparad, Namabhas, even Sudanam. We want Premanam, but not just Premanam. What is it? Srila Narayan Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, he has said, Vraj Bhakti Rasa Sar. The essence of Braj Bhakti Ras. What is that? That is the prem in the heart of Sri Rupa Manjari and all of her group. Our Rupanuga Guru Varg. The prem that's in their heart. Because that's what we're qualified. We cannot have the prem that's in the heart of Lalita, Vishaka, Nanga, Manjari, even Vrinda. It's not possible. Our potential is in the group of Sri Rupa. Our Gurudevs are Rupa Nuga, right? And it's not just following Rupa Goswami, but following Rupa Manjari. And this is the ultimate goal. One time Srila Gurudev was talking to one of my god sisters, and he was telling us, it's even Mahaprabhu is not our goal. Our goal is Jugal Kishore. This is our goal, is to be able to be in Vrindavan. Is to enter into Vrindavan, enter the Leela of Radha and Krishna, and serve Srimati Radhika as her maidservant and sister in her service to Krishna. This is our goal. But we'll never get there without the mercy of Sachinandan Gaurhari. Because why? We have offenses. We learned this in the Madhurya Kadambini. If one doesn't have offenses, all he has to do is chant Hare Krishna, immediately there's prem. If there's no offenses, the holy name is so powerful because it's Radha and Krishna. You've got the essence of Ladini Shakti, Swarup Shakti, Srimati Radhika. That's what's no more powerful. She keeps Krishna under control. What to speak of that? Her maidservants. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says Krishna is the property of the maidservants of Srimati Radhika. So, the highest power is there in Srimati Radhika, and her maidservants, they've come along with her, and all of her Sakis have come. Krishna's come. The Dham has come. In what form? As Navadvip Dham, Gaur Mandal, Gaur Bhumi, on Bharat Varsh, in Bharat Varsh. Hasn't descended only in Bharat Varsh. If you read the 5th canto, which came out at the same time as the Caitanya Caritamrta, there's so many verses, I think it's in chapter 19 or something like that, the glories of Bharat Varsh. Bharat Varsh is so special to be able to take birth, and Bharat Varsh is the highest favor for a human being. Even the demigods are wanting to come and take birth in Bharat Varsh, and they're feeling ashamed that they probably were in Bharat Varsh and they misused their birth to do all these sacrifices and everything and go to the heavenly planets and waste their life. So they're now desiring that they can come back to Bharat Varsh and use it properly and become free from all this and attain the perfection of life. And in Bharat Varsh, as we hear in the beginning of Jaiva Dharma, what is the most special place in Bharat Varsh? Gaur Mandal, Gaur Bhumi. And in the special place within there, Navadvip. And within there, Mayapur. Mayapur, right? Yes, Mayapur. Why? Because here offenses are not considered so much. Here one can easily become free from offenses. But if not, it depends. It depends on sambandha. And this is what's taught in Siksastaka, it's what's taught by all of our Guru Varg. Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojan. So we spoke a little about Prayojan, we spoke a little about Abhideya, which is Siksastaka. Sambandha, a relationship. So if we don't chant the holy name, if we don't do Nam Seva under the guidance of Sachinandan Gaurhari and his associates, meaning eventually, hopefully, taking shelter of Satguru. This is the first, if you read the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu of Rupa Goswami, the very first thing in Southern is Guru Ashraya. Take initiation, take shelter of Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, follow his instruction, start to do bhajan. And why? Because by taking shelter of Vaishnavas, this comes first actually, they will give us some shraddha, right? Shraddha, some faith that, actually by serving Krishna and serving, everything else is taken care of. I don't actually have to do all this material stuff. Some little faith will come. We can't follow it so well, but at least faith in it comes, shraddha. And what else? What is part of shraddha? Surrender. So we start to, it seems like maybe it'd be a good idea to kind of surrender. Because if I don't surrender, I'm not going to get the mercy of the Vaishnavas and Gurus. I'm not going to get the mercy of the Dham. I'm not going to get the mercy even of the Shastras. You see? And so what is surrender? The mercy of the... do you need something to drink? There's water here. Okay, cough drop? Okay, so in surrender, actually the first and the most important part is we have to understand Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with his beloved Srimati Radhika, Jugal Kishore, are our maintainers. That one doesn't usually come first in the list, but it's the most important one. And if we start to understand, they're maintaining. They always have been, and they always will be. It's just that we were in so much illusion, we thought that we were maintaining ourselves or our father and mother or whoever, or the sun god or Indra, whoever. But actually, it's Jugal Kishore. They are the maintainers, and we're their servants. And if we just serve them, everything's taken care of. Everything, they're maintaining us. If you're serving like in a company or something, they give you everything. You don't have to worry about it. You just do your work, your service, and they give you the money and everything's taken care of, right? So if you serve Jugal Kishore, beginning at this point with Guru and the Vaishnavas, following their instructions, because we don't really know how to serve Jugal Kishore, but we hear, okay, it begins with serving their dearmost ones. Okay, so we'll serve Guru. And this is what Prabhupada was so amazing. Prabhupada, he had us stay in our place. We didn't follow Prabhupada around usually, unless he was close by. And he would put us in a temple, and he would give us Radha and Krishna, Gauranitai, Jagannath, Balaram, Subhadra, and he would say, and it was a nice Vyasasam with a picture of Prabhupada, and we were serving Prabhupada, and we were serving Radha and Krishna, and we were serving. We were just serving. And it was called our Prabhupada Desh, and he trained us in this service and separation. Because some devotees, even in Brazil, never even met Prabhupada externally. Never. But their faith was so strong. Because they were trained up in serving Srila Prabhupada, And they just wanted to make him happy. Selfless. He was really selfless. You can't have even a pinch of material desires. And there's no material impediments. Don't worry about it, any problem you think. There's no material impediments, whether you're born a Mlecha or Yavana, you're a woman, you're man. No material impediments. It was very simple, basic, pure bhakti. This was the essence of what he gave us. And then you can see so many Prabhupada disciples, they made this and that, but they're actually quite strong in their faith in Prabhupada. Mm-hmm. Even if they've had difficulties in their life, still, because he trained us like that. And he gave that mercy, you see. So if we understand that Sri Guru, as a representative of Jugal Kishore, is maintaining us and protecting us, then what's the fear? He sent my godbrother, Buri John, after he'd been to Hong Kong all by himself and said, open a center. And he did. And it's still going on. Haribol. Then he sent somebody else to England and somebody else to Germany. They didn't hardly know anything. But he used them. Somebody once asked Prabhupada, so what are the miracles you've done? Because, what is it, Sai Baba could have some ashes, or, And Prabhupada said, because he had 108 temples, right? He said, because I'm doing everything in all my temples. That's the miracle.
That's a very good point.
You see? So and our test is, to say, I was doing this. No. I'm letting Prabhupada use me. My fortune is that I've let Prabhupada, I've given up my independence and free will, I've taken it from Maya and given it to Prabhupada, and let him use me as an instrument in his mission, in his seva to his guru, to the seva to Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mission. With that attitude, then we can go forward. But we're thinking, I'm this. Né? Very slow progress. Very slow, right? So then you've got, in surrender, accepting what's favorable, rejecting what's unfavorable. And that we get taught by Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas and the Shastra. And we go to the essence, because we can't follow in Kali Yuga, it's not possible to follow all the rules and regulations. It's not. Even in what do you call it? What's the book? The one by Sanatana Goswami with all the rules. Huh? Hari Bhakti Vilas. Yeah, Hari Bhakti Vilas. That one's, it's really not possible for us to follow. And many of those things aren't even meant for us. Srila Gurudev even said, he said, no, it's not. We don't do like that. We follow who? Mahaprabhu, with the guidance of Swarup Damodar, but under Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath. We're following the 6 Goswamis. And what Rupa Goswami has given us, what Sanatana Goswami has given us, what Raghunath Das Goswami, and all coming down through Jiva Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Narottam Das Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Baladev Vijayabhushan, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta, and our Sri Gurus. This, and whatever rules and regulations they have given us, this is enough. Because Prabhupada, he knew. He was a Charya. So he knew exactly what to give us. Now that doesn't mean that in time, things might change a little bit, but for that time, it was perfect. And it certainly wasn't a lot of rules and regulations. It wasn't. It could not be. We were not qualified to be able to do that. But he just chant Hare Krishna at least 16 times. You know, and it's for some of us, like me, I was a slow chanter. It took me, the day I joined, it took me all day to chant one round, Hare Krishna. Because I thought, Hare Krishna, Hare, Haribo, Hare Krishna. And I didn't like Hare Krishna. I thought that, well, that's like being a robot. I didn't like that. So, like this. And he was very lenient as far as even ekadasi. We couldn't take grains and beans and stuff, but he was quite lenient with ekadasi because we weren't so used to these kind of things, most of us. And he was quite lenient in other things like this. But the main thing is, we had our program. You have to go to Mangalarti. At least where I was, if you could only miss Mangalarti if you have a temperature above 100. We had Fahrenheit, but if you missed, you had to go out and distribute a Krishna book, or you had to fast all day. You had to go to Mangalarti. That was that. And then we chanted for 2 hours in the temple room. The men over here and the women. We had a tulsi plant and we chanted. Then we had Guru Puja. Then we had Srimad Bhagavatam class, a little prasadam, and then we went out all day either to distribute books, or else you were a cook in the kitchen, or you were whatever your service, or an editor, whatever. And we had noon artik and prasadam, and then every afternoon we went on Harinam Sankirtan in downtown Los Angeles, distributing magazines in those days, in the beginning. Then we came back, and we had... I think we had Tulsi prayer after the Mangalarti, but I think the evening we had it before. I think we had Tulsi prayer before the evening Artik, I think. And then we had the evening Artik, and we had Bhagavad Gita class, and then after that, he wanted some nectar, so we either had Krishna book or nectar devotion for a short time. Then we had a little amount of prasadam, and we fell into bed. And it was 10 o'clock falling into bed, 4 o'clock getting up, and it was like, but we were happy. We were so happy. It was really beautiful. And I know myself, the kind of Vaidhi Bhakti that Prabhupada was giving by the mercy of Sachinandan Gaur Hari is the special mercy of Gaur Hari. It's his process. It automatically will take one to Raganuga Bhakti. Srila Gurudev has actually said that. If you follow your Sri Guru, who's a Rupanuga Gaudiya Vaishnava, automatic, whatever rules and regulations he's given you, if you do that, gradually, Raganuga will automatically come. You don't have to worry about it. But it doesn't really come to a higher stage. This is the thing. We cannot artificially jump to Raganuga Bhakti. It's not possible. It comes really in the level, little bit in Ashakti and in Bhav, when our Siddha Deha is manifesting. And so at this point, we're down here and trying to surrender, trying to just accept Radha and Krishna as our maintainer and protectors, have faith in that. And we're coming to Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Nartana Vritti, like this. And finally, when that's cleared, we can come to Nishta, which is firm faith, you see? Because Shraddha is not so firm, we still... But in Nishta, most of the anarthas are cleared, and they aren't stabbing you in the heart. It's hard, when you're being stabbed in the heart by some envy, lust, oh my God, and, I made a vow, I can't keep my vows, the anisthita bhakti, and sometimes I'm doing good, so I can't do, no desire, and everything's fine, I still don't feel like doing it, it's like, this is anisthita bhakti. Finally, the point that Mahaprabhu is making is chant, do nam seva. Nam seva, tolerate, force yourself to chant if you don't have a taste. Nam, Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevala. Kalona steva, nasteva, nasteva, gatir. There's no other way. Just keep chanting. Keep chanting. And if you have Satguru, Sat Vaishnavas helping you, gradually, it will all be cleared. Anartha nivritti will happen. There's no hopelessness. No hopelessness. We have hope. Prabhupada would say, just give me one life, one little life, then I'll do everything. So for us, that's a long time. But if you really think about the eternal soul, how long we've been in the material world, that's not very long. We've been here unlimited, done everything. Prabhupada said, if you knew how fallen you were, you'd faint. And Gurudev the same. We've done everything. We haven't been the nicest person. And we've been a dog, a tree, a snake, a little microbe. We've been a demigod. We've been this and that, everything. So therefore we start to learn after, we're coming up to Nisha, which is Trinadapi Sunichena. And what we're going to be discussing here, this is a chart for Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's second book, Bhajan Rahasya, which is all about Siksastaka too. And what it is, as we're going through from Shraddha, Nishta like this, he has shown us how all these are deep secrets of the holy name. And he has the holy name, the first pair of names, Hare Krishna. This is also in Krishna Lila, his Astakalya Lila. It's Nishant Lila. When Krishna and Radha are waking up, and they're going to have to go home. Nishant Lila. And this is Shraddha. Shraddha. He gives all these secrets, and it's all there in Chaito Darpanam Marjanam, isn't it? Of course, Chaito Darpanam is the most special verse in the whole Siksastaka, because actually it's a summary of all the stages. All the stages are in Chaito Darpanam. It gives you a preview, you might say a preview, to the last verse, Asli Shiva. So as we keep going, it's Hare Krishna, then Hare Krishna. What is that? That's Prata Lila. That's the morning pastimes. And what is that? That's Sadhu Sangha. So we're going to go through this, and we're going to talk about all these different stages and the different Leelas, and what it means for us. For us, now we're in Nishant Lila, Hare Krishna, Shraddha, but we're also in Prata Lila, which is Sadhu Sangha, Anartha Nivritti, and that is practice, right? But Nishant Lila means from darkness to light, isn't it? Like if you think of the Leela of Krishna, so someone who's in Prem or Bhav, they can think of these Leelas, and they see, what is it, Radha and Krishna, they've been having their pastimes all night, they're Rasa Leela, so many pastimes, bathing in the Jamuna, all these things, drinking honey wine, so many pastimes, right? And then they fall asleep, right? In the Nikunj. But then all the birds wake them up, because they have to go home, right? Because their mother and father might find out, wait a minute, they're not here. Because we're talking the topmost abode of Krishna. What is that? Vraja Vrindavan. That's where Ujjvala Shringar Prem, Ujjvala Parakya Bhav is the topmost jewel. This is Krishna's topmost abode where he's relishing Parakya Bhav. This is the Paramar mood. He's not married. That's Dwarka. There are some gopis that have that. That's in Golok. That's the outer circle of Braj. But the innermost, the most confidential, hidden treasure is this Ujjvala Shringar Ras, Ujjvala Parakya Bhav, and that's what Mahaprabhu came to give. He came to give this. He didn't come to give. All this had already been given. He came to give this very special mood and this very special ras that gives him the topmost pleasure. And that's what we can be part of. That's what our potential is. But it's only a potential at this point. So how can that potential become a manifest reality? Sri Nam, Nam Seva, under the guidance of a Rasic Rupanuga Vaishnava. Rupa Goswami has said that he has his nutshell instructions, Upadeshamrita. This is like our Bhagavad Gita. After we've had Bhagavad Gita as the foundation, right? Srimad Bhagavatam, Upadeshamrita. For Rupanuga Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Upadeshamrita, Raghunath Das Goswami's Manashiksha, Sanatana Goswami's, Brihad Bhagavatamrita. For us, this is the foundation. The foundation. Like this. So in there, of course we know in the Upadeshamrita, he's saying, what is the essence of all advice? We all know. We all know, isn't it? Live in Braj. And here chant, remember the sweet pastimes of Radha and Krishna, under the guidance of a Rasic Ragatmika Bhakta. That means a real Brajbasi that has the same mood that you have and who has affection for you. Like this. Like that. And if we can't have our body here, we have to make our mind and heart. And Prabhupada once said, it's interesting. Because see, the subtle body and the gross body, still, it's all material. The subtle body is not spiritual, it's material. So whether you do the devotional activity in the subtle body or the material, it's still all material. So you can do Manasa Seva. You see, it will be accepted. Just the same as if you do Seva with your physical body. You see, like this. So when one is not living in Braj, one has to learn the art of making the mind and the heart Vrindavan and serving the same, hearing, chanting the same under the guidance of a Rupanuga Rasic Vaishnava and carrying out and trying to follow the instructions of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, coming down, as we know, Caitanya Caritamrta, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, down Narottam Dasa, his songs, Narottam Dasa Kaur. They are the essence, actually, Gurudeva said, of Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and Ujjvala Nilamani. Narottam Dasa, he only has 2 books of songs, right? They're not even very big. Prem Bhakti Chandrika and Prarthana. But they're the essence, because he had thought, because the books had been stolen. All the books of the Goswamis, remember, had been stolen when he was with Srinivasacharya and Shamananda, right, Shamananda. And that they had been stolen, but Srinivasa said, you all go on. He and Shamananda were supposed to go on and still preach and everything, and he was going to stay there and try and find the books. So Narottam didn't know. So he made all of his songs. It was the essence. All of Rupa Goswami's teachings, right? Plus his guru is Lokanath Goswami. Like this, his Shiksha guru is Jiva Goswami. Like this. And they were doing it through kirtan. Each 3 of them had a different style of kirtan. And they were preaching through their kirtan. And then after that, then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And he was so special, because by the time he appeared, the essence of Rupa Goswami's teachings and what Mahaprabhu really wanted to get had been very covered and had been kind of distorted. The word is distortion, like this. This is what happens in bhakti in the material world. Bhakti, the path, it becomes distorted. So the pure path isn't there. So he came and they call him the second manifestation of Rupa Goswami, right? So he gave the pure essence, Ujjvala Shingaras, Ujjvala Parakya Bhav. And he was fighting for it. He even, there were some devotees in Vrindavan who were going to kill him. You all know the story, probably, don't you? The story. He was going to write his Krishna Bhavanamrita, which is all Parakya Bhav, Shingaras. And they thought they were doing a service to Guru Parampara because they were in Swakiya Bhav. Even though they were in Vrindavan, this had come in. It was prominent. Jiva Goswami had both kinds of disciples because some disciples weren't very qualified, you know. So, but Vishwanath, he's here to establish, again, what is the essence? What is the topmost? But what happened when these persons were going to kill him? He was on Vrindavan Parikrama. They jump out, and what do they see? They see a little girl, about 12 and a half. And she's going, he said, well, Lali, have you seen a man around here? Vishwanath Chakravarti? No, I haven't. But I've been sent here by my Swamini, who's in Javad, to pick flowers. See, Javad is where Radharani lives with her husband, right? Abhimanyu. So he was, and then he showed them his form as Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And by all this, they were purified, they fell at his feet, and they became his disciples. This is our Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And he established the topmost Shringaras, Parakya Bhav, as the essence, the topmost of. He actually brought such a treasure, or he as you would say, you might say, just like with Braj. Braj is an eternal Dham. It's always eternally manifest. But in the material world, it seems to become covered, right? And then the devotees come and they uncover it again. Then it becomes covered. And then the devotees come again and they reveal the Dham. Oh, I know. This is what I was started with. Sambandha. So, Sambandha is important because relationship, right? We have the relationship with Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas. Without that, we actually have we're not in the Dham. And we may say, I'm a servant of Mahaprabhu, you know, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a blah, blah, blah. But without becoming the servant of his servant, he doesn't accept. No, there's a process. And that's sadhu sangha. Especially coming, Nitai. Nitai is the proprietor of Navadvip. We were back in Navadvip. I came to Braj. But anyhow, we're back in Navadvip. And to actually become a resident of Navadvip, and to get the mercy of Navadvip, one has to have the sambandha with Nityananda and the Guru Parampara coming from him. He's a Khanda Guru Tattva. So it's, as Gurudev would say, Krishna Kripa Ananda Murti Sri Guru. That's the whole Guru Parampara, right? If we don't have Sambandha, Sri Guru, and the Vaishnavas, we're living on the net of Maya. Because if you read the Navadvip Dham Mahatmya of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he's given so many treasures, so many treasures. Jiva Goswami asks him a question. Well, we see so many persons in Navadvip. You know, they're saying they're devotees of Mahaprabhu, but he says, no sambandha, Nitai said, no sambandha. So they're just on the net of Maya, and they're not getting the mercy. Not possible. You see? We have to have sambandha. And then Mahaprabhu and Nitai, then they will give. And they will clear the offenses easily. Easily. We see with Jagai Madai. Even with what Devananda Pandit, you know. So many, and all the scholars who had blasphemed Mahaprabhu, he forgave all of them when he came back as a sannyasi. Everyone is forgiven, but not if you don't accept, if you don't surrender, and you don't become the servant of the servant of the servant. And that servant can bring you to Mahaprabhu. Just like with Devananda Pandit, he was a Bhagavatam reciter, if you remember. And he was such a learned scholar, and he was so austere, everything, but he wasn't a bhakta. And when Srivas Pandit went to hear Bhagavatam, and he was weeping and crying, everyone thought he was, all of the students of Devananda Pandit thought he was disturbing. And they threw him out. This is Srivas Pandit. Mahaprabhu was so angry, so angry. But how did he get forgiven? Because he went and served Vakrashar Pandit. You see? He had the great fortune, somehow or other, to serve Vakrashar Pandit. And that purified him. And when he could come and, he was a servant of Vakrashar Pandit, then Mahaprabhu accepted him and forgave him. Then we have to become the servant of the associates of Mahaprabhu. Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami coming down. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Bhaktivedanta Narayana Maharaj, Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj. Down, we have to have this. Then they can, Mahaprabhu, they'll hear their prayers because they're associates. They have praying. Krishna only hears the prayers of those who are surrendered. Now, here's how is it? Later in the Navadvip Dham Bhava Taranga, and anyhow, that doesn't really follow. When in the Navadvip Bhava Taranga, which is different than the Navadvip Dham Mahatmya, Bhaktivinoda Thakur does parikama in Bhav of Navadvip. And at the end, when he's in Rudradvip, he actually has the spurti of his own spiritual identity. And he reveals that. He says, I am Kamala Manjari. He's so merciful. The mercy that we've got from Mahaprabhu through Bhaktivinoda Thakur is actually unprecedented. Unprecedented. Who else has said, I am this Manjari? I am. Who else has said? And given you the process by which you can also find out who you are. And be that person. Bhaktivinoda Thakur and all of his followers. So anyhow, and then when Ananga Manjari, the Akhanda Guru Tattva in the Gopi field, yeah, Ananga Manjari, Janavidevi, Shakti of Nitai, taking him around Navadvip in Bhav, and she brings her to Rupa Manjari, and Rupa Manjari asks, who is she? And what does Ananga Manjari? She says, she is a resident of Navadvip. See, this was the identity given by, because it's Sambandha. He's accepted Ananga Manjari. He's accepted Jagannath Das Babaji, and he had Guru, you see, like this. Jagannath Babaji is Guru Parampara. It's Bhagavad Parampara, but he had. So he was considered a resident of Navadvip. This was his identity. And she wants to be, it's amazing how, see, you have Navadvip and Vrindavan, because Ananga Manjari is taking Bhaktivinoda Thakur on Parikrama Vrindavan in Navadvip. A mystery. You see, very mysterious. Very mysterious. It's just different aspects of the Dham. Because he also has a song, which is his morning Mangal Artik song, that begins Gaur Gadadhar, and then it's Radha Madhav. You see, so by following this process given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, originally coming down to the Siksastaka of Mahaprabhu, we will get the mercy of the Dham of Vrindavan in her most merciful mood as Navadvip. It's actually Vrindavan. But she has come to give so much mercy and to clear the offenses, because we cannot go to Vrindavan. We cannot taste Ras. We can't serve Ras in our state with offenses, all of our nartas. It's not possible. And here we'll commit more offenses, and then we'll really have a problem. But if we go to the merciful aspect of Vraj, actually, then we can become cleared. Nitai is the proprietor of Navadvip, Akhanda Guru Tattva, Janavijivan, Nitai. You see, we take shelter in his line, coming down through Swarup Damodar. He's actually the proprietor of Purushottam Kshetra. And Rupa and Sanatana Goswami are the proprietors of Vrindavan. Like this. So we're coming down, we're getting the blessings, and we're here. And so when we're here in Braj now, in Drishaman Vrindavan, this is actually part of Gaur Leela. We're not part of Krishna's Leela. Are you seeing the Rasa Leela over here? It's right over here on the banks of the Jamuna. This is Rasa Mandal. Have you entered in your Manjari form? Are we in Vraj Leela? No. We're right here, Sachinandan Gohari in Imli Tala. You know, Rupa Goswami's here, Sanatan Goswami's here. You know, it's part of Gaur Leela. We're in Gaur Leela. And we're becoming, and we have Sambandha, because we have Shri Guru. And he's telling us, you do this, you do this, you do this. Simple, simple, you do this. Don't worry, I'm maintaining you, I'm protecting you. Just do as I say. Please, please, just do as I say. And you'll see, things will clear, you'll come to Nishta, you'll get this taste that's unbelievable. When you get that higher taste, you immediately forget any desire for pratishta, for puja, for anything, kanika, all these tastes go automatically. And when you finally get a shakti attachment, all attachment to material attachments is severed. And when you get bhav, then your siddha deha is manifested. And when that matures, what happens? The material body just dissolves. And the siddha deha is there. This is all by chanting Hare Krishna under proper guidance. Nam Seva, like this. We're so fortunate, so fortunate. So right now, we have Shraddha, hopefully, some faith. And we have Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, and Narjana Priti. So we should never, ever, ever stop chanting. Actually, in his Bhajan Rahasya, Bhaktivinoda Thakur quotes a verse. I think it's the 11th canto? Yeah, the 11th canto of Bhagavatam. And it's Krishna himself, I think, speaking to Uddhava. And he's saying that just automatically, by this chanting and hearing, you know, the devotees, they become so absorbed that everything just automatically, without any effort, will just leave like that. So we should, at this point, follow Rupa Goswami, who has said, what is it? Be very tolerant, very enthusiastic, patient, confident, you know, control the tongue, the mind, you know, what is it, Manashiksha, you know, develop love for Shri Guru, Vraj, the Brajbasis, you know, like this, step by step by step. And it's all by calling out what, especially Raghunath Das Goswami, call out to the great generals. When lust is attacking you, when envy is attacking you, what do? You fall over and go, no. Hey, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Swabdhamana, help! Because they're considered the great generals, the commanders-in-chief, who will save us from all these rogues when we're on that path of bhakti, right? They will save us. Can I save myself? No way. No, I'm so tiny and insignificant. There's no way. I need help, isn't it? That's why we say, Gurudev ki jai ho. Jai ho means please be victorious. You know, big victorious. And who is the worst enemy? My mind. My mind is full of all the samskars from unlimited lifetimes. If you read the Bhagavatam, we have a stockpile of samskars that are so unfavorable that you can't even imagine how big our stockpile of unfavorable samskars is. And not only that, this stockpile is creating all the more that are going to come. Because by that, then you're going to get, you know, one birth, and we're stuck here in the material world unlimitedly. Oh my gosh. But the generals, Swarab Damodar, who is it? This is Lalita, right, Vishaka, Rupa Goswami, is Rupa Manjari, you know, Gadadhar Pandit, Radharani, Krishna, you know, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is power. They can easily, all they have to do is, like this, all that whole stockpile's gone. Gone, like that. Nothing. See, this is called Shraddha, it's called Nishta. If we understood who our gurus actually are, why would we ever be afraid? We would only be afraid when we don't really understand, or we don't want to surrender. We do understand who they are, but wait a minute. How about letting me take, I've heard that it'll take 3 lifetimes. That sounds good to me. I like it here. Even though it's miserable. It's too high. Next life. That's why we're fools. I mean, fool number one. That's why Prabhupada gave us the Krishna book. I remember when I first read the Krishna, I think I was still a hippie. I don't think I'd actually become a devotee. I was kind of becoming. And I thought, wow, that's what we were looking for as hippies, so we didn't find it. This is the real thing, We were drugs and, it was miserable, killing each other, and, it was hellish. Wow, this is, wow, So let's stop being fools, number one, moodhas. That's probably moodha. And let's start to be intelligent, fortunate. This is what Mahaprabhu actually says in the Caitanya Caritamrta as being revealed by Krishnadas Kavi. Only those who are very fortunate, those who are fortunate can actually chant. And chant, in the proper way, if we're fortunate. So we've been given a chance to be very fortunate. We have met a Rupanuga Gaudiya Vaishnava. We've come in the line of Sachinandan Gauri. We've come in the line that will give us that praying, that will allow us to enter Vrindavan, become Brijbasis, and be ourselves, and enter into Leela and serve in Leela. We don't just hear our Hari Katha because it sounds good, then that's just sense gratification. Our object is to become qualified to enter Leela and serve in Leela. That is the object. That is Prem. Prem is Ras. Ras is your relationship with Krishna. And the relationship, that's Ras. And all the moods, all the serving, this is Ras. To serve Braj Ras, like this. And we can only do it when we're pure, when we have Prem, when we have our spiritual body. All the Brajbasis, they're Ragatmika because they have Rag. Rag means an unquenchable thirst, an insatiable thirst to just make Krishna happy. Isn't that Mother Yashoda, Nanda Baba, Sridham Saka, Lalita, Shrimati? They can't, and even Kundalata, Dani, everyone, they just want Krishna. And there's so many different, and it's not like the Pacific, just Krishna likes variety. He likes intensity, right? So in the bhavs, you have the man of the gopis. You've got the cowherd boys. I'm more powerful than you. I've ridden on your shoulders. You know what I mean? He doesn't want utopia. Everything's just, like swimming around in the Brahma Jyoti. That's boring. That's like what is this, like the happiness in the water in the hoofprint of a calf. Yeah. And compared to the unlimited, ever-expanding ocean of Prem. Braj Prem. You see, what to speak of Madhurya Ras. You see? Okay, we better stop here. We'll continue more. Next week is actually Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day. So I will not be able to give class at this time because we will be having a festival in the temple room. Everyone's welcome if they want to tune in. I think we'll have Gopinath Baba on Facebook. We'll be live streaming. And so we may not have class again until the next week. I'm not quite sure what I will be able to do next week. Okay? But we will pick up either next week, sometime another day. I'm not sure. Okay? Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giri Radhika Raman Ki Jai Ho Vanchakalpatu Vishya Kripa Sindhu Bhyavita Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Can I ask?
Oh, you want to ask? Yeah, you can ask a quick question.
Okay, I just have a quick question. With this Sambandha Gyan, because my understanding was the Sambandha is come when you take Diksha. Is it right or not?
Well, see, it's a process.
It's a process.
And there's two words. One is Vidvadrudi and one is, what's the other one?
I thought it was Divya Gyan and...
No, but there's also this Vidvadrudi and, what's the other word? And one means formal and one means real. Real Diksha doesn't come until Bhav.
Right. Right.
What we've got now is Harinam and Diksha.
Yes.
It's formal. We've been, what Gurudev says is we've been allowed in the school of Diksha.
Right.
But Diksha comes involved, really.
Okay.
If you want to really use the word, you see?
Okay.
So we've been at least given entrance. Uddhava wasn't even allowed in, remember? He just wanted to be, he has his own school though, because he's in a different Ras. He's a Dorkavasi,
Okay.
But we've been allowed entrance. And so we're in school. We're in a hospital and we're in a school and hospital. And the only doctor is Sri Guru. And the only teachers are Sri Guru.
Right.
You see? And so we go through first grade, second grade, third grade, and finally get one certificate. Then you go on, you get another certificate. Finally you graduate. But even when you graduate and you get your spiritual body, you have prem, and you go to the planet where Krishna's having his eternal pastimes, Prakat Leela,
Yeah.
then you get further trained by the Nityasiddha gopis. If you get further trained, you're always being trained, always like this. It's ever fresh. Remember, Krishna, Radharani is Krishna's praying guru. He's learning ever fresh dances from Srimati Radhika. You know what I mean? And she's learning from Lalita how to do man properly, and, like this. So, this is, we're so used to this mundane material world that is so boring and is so limited, and just there's nothing ever fresh. Everything dies here. Everything dwindles away, But up there is only expanding, only ever fresh, unprecedented, astonishing. And it cannot be described in material words. Not possible. It's only known by realization. So if we keep chanting, Nam Seva, Chaito Darbana Marjanam, what is the end? Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayati. Totally clean, 100% clean. Nam, Shinam, and we'll be experiencing bliss at every step, right? And the last will come, was it Asli Shiva Parata? We'll see. For us, it's not Krishna, but it's Srimati Radharani is our Swamini. She is our Swami no matter what. And Krishna is her Nath. So, Yugal Kishore, they're our life and soul. Whether they appear before us, whether they disappear, whether they're angry at us, whether they're not, whether they choose all these other devotees to serve them, and there's a way to say it, but I don't speak Sanskrit very well. But Nath means kind of like master, and they call Krishna Nath, my Nath. But Rupa Goswami in his Ukalika Valari, he puts them together, and it's kind of like Natho. I can't say it properly, but you change the Sanskrit so it means both of them. Just like you have Vrindavana-vilasini, well then he puts them together and it would be, I forget it. Or he's Nikunja Rajo. Instead of Raj, it's Rajo. It's the two of them. You see, so it's always for Rupa Goswami, it's the both. Because Radharani just went, it's Jugal Kishore. This is our goal. The Manjaris cannot even bear when Srimati Radharani's in separation and she's feeling so much distress. They'll do anything to bring them together. Anything. Well, that's more. We have to stop here.
Thank you so much.
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Sri
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Jaya Gandharvika Giridhari Gandharvika Giridhari Radhe.
Jaya Gandharvika Giridhari Gandharvika Giridhari Radhe.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva,
Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Hare Krishna.